Haley, you're not supposed to become a Rockefeller by, I don't know, being in public office, but somehow these dudes got a lot of scratch. Not Lightfoot, because she gets it from the city, but some candidate. Drives me nuts, Haley.
Oh, it's wild. And yes, to your point, all these politicians have so much money. I don't know how they make it. It seems sketchy. But it's unfair to tell people, hey, we're going to defund the police in Chicago and other big deep blue cities. And then here we're seeing, obviously, a rise in crime in Chicago. I think murders are actually down in Chicago, but overall, crime is up. Obviously, you see a lot of looting and things like that in stores like Target and Walmart. We're seeing that in California mostly. But this is a concerning trend, obviously, and it's just funny to see this rules for thee, not for me kind of situation play out in real time. I feel like she was caught red-handed on this TikTok.
See, I think that Chicago has moved on to carjackings. The carjackings are a big deal there. So look, hey, murder, carjackings, they'll get to the point in Chicago, if they haven't already, where they'll combine the two. There'll be murderous carjackings, particularly if I know anything about Chicago. All right, I'm on a new kick here, Haley. I'm on a kick of two things. One, shut up about what people did 5, 10, 20 years ago. I go to church every Sunday. And then I'm also on this kick. Hey, look, shut up. It's just a tweet. It's just a tweet.
Yes.
Like, until we care about the president lying to us, it's just a freaking tweet, and I don't want to hear about it. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Gwen Stefani, set this up, will you please?
Yeah, so Gwen Stefani's sort of getting canceled over her Harajuku Lovers fragrance line from 14 years ago, all thanks to this Allure article. So Allure does this interview asking Gwen what she's learned since then. What she said stunned us. This whole thing sounds like a setup to me. As you know, in the early 2000s, in Gwen's music and her videos and style, you always saw this Japanese influence. And it wasn't just her, it was everywhere. And it wasn't just celebrities, like normal people, like this was in fashion magazines. And don't you dare come for these two either, or these queens. So Gwen talks about this Japanese influence and why it's so important to her, and she tells these stories about how her dad used to travel there a lot and she traveled, but this is what really got me. It was just so interesting. It says, her father would return with stories of street performers cosplaying as Elvis and stylish women with colorful hair. So again, no one's yelling at Japanese people for appropriating, Elvis and American culture. It's only the other way around. These are the comments that actually got her in hot water. She said when she finally traveled there as an adult herself, she said, my God, I'm Japanese and I didn't know it. Listen, I don't have Gwen's 23andMe or Ancestry.com. I have no idea what she is. The article said that she's Italian American. If she's not Japanese, that is a weird thing to say. But I also think we have to take a look at intention here. This is obviously a woman that has a deep appreciation for the culture. Again, not appropriation, but appreciation. And I think that there's a massive distinction there that we should be paying attention to. And not for nothing, but people are identifying as whatever they want these days. So maybe you set the tone there. But do I think that this is worth canceling over? Absolutely not.
Walk me through.
Yeah, so obviously I'm super anti-cancel culture. I think it's damaging. I think people who did something 10 years ago, this specific situation, she released a fragrance line called Harajuku Lovers in 2008, or maybe even before then. She released a song called Harajuku Lovers in 2008. And maybe you wouldn't release that perfume today or release that song today, but you shouldn't be judged for what you did a decade ago or even more so by today's cancel culture standards. It's an unfair standard to hold anyone to. As the goalposts keep moving, it's impossible to keep up with. So I am super anti-cancel culture. And actually, I give Gwen Stefani a lot of credit because she totally doubled down. So this Asian American journalist in Allure did an interview with her saying, hey, what have you learned since putting out this perfume 14 years ago? And the Asian American journalist said, I actually had this perfume on my drawer or on my dresser, and I loved it because I saw myself represented for the first time. And Gwen, and then she kind of made this point where, okay, but Gwen Stefani's making money off of Asian American influence, and it's kind of this commodification of Asian Americans or Japanese Americans. So, okay, fair point, but Gwen Stefani totally doubled down and she said, no, I love this culture, and if we've gotten to a point in this country where we can't appreciate other people's cultures, then aren't we more divided? I thought that was a great response, because I totally agree. We can, the beautiful thing about America is that we are this melting pot of all different cultures. And if we can't show love and appreciation for those cultures in music and art, then where have we gotten?
I have two things, and I'm with you. I don't care what somebody, as long as it's not criminal. You know, I don't care what somebody did 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Because the goalpost, as you said, the goalpost moves. The narratives change. They just simply do. And the second thing is, it's just a tweet. Shut up. Like, everybody loses their mind on a tweet. Then, of course, you got to act all offended, right? This tweet offended me. No, it didn't. You went and ate dinner. You got your little sad out. And then it's just a tweet. Like, Haley, if we don't care about the president, we cared more, way more, about Skip Bayless, whether it was a right tweet, wrong tweet, whatever, than the president of the United States lying about the death of an officer at January 6th. We cared more about that than we did about some freaking, it's just a tweet. It's just a tweet.
People's attention is in the wrong place. Their priorities are all messed up. Americans are paying attention to, canceling Gwen Stefani. They're not paying attention to the fact that the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago for classified documents, and Trump was, cooperative with the law, and Biden does the same thing. And all of a sudden it's, nope, don't care, doesn't matter. And this is what I really want to know. So we're finding out all of these sketchy things that Biden did when he was a vice president. Hunter Biden's laptops, shady deals with China, obviously the mishandling of classified documents. What is happening when he's president right now? We keep finding out about things that he did back then. The man's in office again. The American people put him in office again. What is he getting away with now?
The level of intelligence in what you just said is lost on our legacy media. They can't get away from protecting this crime family.
I think that they know exactly what's going on. They have the means to figure it out and dig it out, but they won't do it because they're in bed with the Biden administration. The Biden administration can go to Twitter and say, hey, suppress this Hunter Biden laptop story. And they say, aye, aye, Captain. And then it's done. And then the American, hearts and minds are influenced by that decision. And then here we are. Now, Biden's president again. Or Biden's president for the first time.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with what you said. They absolutely know. They are absolutely in bed. And the Twitter files proves it. All right, let's end the week on a cheery note. I have a dog. I don't like dogs. I never like dogs because dog owners think that you're supposed to like their dog. When I would be shooting baskets outside and people in my neighborhood had dogs, they would come up, bother me. And they would oh, isn't he cute? And he would be jumping on me. And I'm like, no, get his ass away from me. I don't need a dog. I always said about dogs, I don't like them. I got a dog. I like my dog. But I only like my dog.
Your dog is very sweet.
Big dump. Thank you. Big dog, big dump. Little dog, little dump. That's the only thing I think about dogs. What say you, lady?
All right, I want to show this video of cute dog. Talented dog. Look at him! Bringing the tube up the mountain by himself and sliding down by himself. That's pretty good. Pretty talented, I must say. Can Lula do that? Sliding down by herself?
All right. You put a dog on a thing and push it down. What?
I think the dog's doing it itself. That's pretty impressive.
Really? Really? And then the other dog, the big dog on the wall, you know what I saw? I saw was his backside, and what comes out of his backside.
It is a big dog, but a beautiful singing voice. So I'm impressed. These are 2 dogs. I mean, I like your dog, but I don't know if they can do these tricks.
My dog does no tricks. My dog will bark, but one thing my dog does is if somebody comes, it barks with a great bark. Do you have dogs?
I don't. I have a cat that showed up on Tommy Laren's porch, and I have since adopted it.
Man, I got to tell you, if you go to 6th and Peabody, a lot of things show up on that porch.
Yeah, it's some unsavory characters outside, that's for sure. But good people inside. Good people inside.